Cool. Hello. Welcome. Welcome back to another Atomic Cards video. It's Tom here. Hi. And
I'm Jamie. Hi.
hi, Jamie.
Hi, Tom.
Jamie might be new to a lot of you guys. Well, you will be new to a lot of you guys.
New
So
to a
Jamie,
lot
tell
of
us a little
people.
bit about yourself. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Okay. So I'm Jamie. I've been playing Middle Earth for too many years, since Battle Games in Middle Earth was a thing. I've just this year got into tournament play though. This is my third tournament that I've been to. I did Valor Bowl, I did Into the West, and I've just done Lord of the Imps, Return of the Imp.
What do you mean since it's a thing? It's still a thing.
Oh yeah, I have them at arm's reach as well. Don't worry. When they were available in your local newsagents.
Oh, that was the good old days. Back when
It was amazing.
Games Workshop cared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jamie's one of our local lads, and then we went up to Lord of the Imps together. Yeah, got him a t-shirt and everything. Can't come to an event and not get a t-shirt. Mine are in the wash because I'm not a stinky boy. But
I literally threw mine in the wash as I got home last night, and it's been washed today while I've been at work.
Fair enough. So we didn't do a preview like we normally do for Lord of the Imps, basically because I've been on holiday. So sorry about that. That's why there's not been a battle report for a couple of weeks either. We'll hopefully get one up by the end of this week. Should be playing Lee later on, so that'll be good. Get a battle report up. But yeah, I took to that's Lord of the Imps special little tournament, wasn't it? It's got 700 points armies,
700 points,
and it's a GBHL100 point event. So it's one of the premier events in the calendar. The 100 points just basically means, for those that don't know, but it's like the highest ranked competitive events that we have in the UK. It all goes into the league system. You get 100 points for winning it, so it's the most points on offer. For Lord of the Imps, it was a 700 point army, but there was a twist. You had to name a leader and then like a lieutenant for your army. At the end of day one, your leader died, and he was replaced by your lieutenant as a leader, and then you had to use his points to kind of replace his warband with whatever you wanted to do, but it still had to be a legal list. So for me,
did it?
It did, yes, definitely did, Jamie.
Oh, okay.
So I took Rohan. So I had I had Theoden and I had Dernhelm, and then I had some other stuff. There were 6 Royal Guard of Throwing Spears. I had 5 Royal like normal riders with throwing spears. I had 5 riders with throwing spears. I had 5 riders with throwing spears, 5 riders without throwing spears. I had 2 Royal Rohan Outriders on horse, and then I had Aragorn Kid Elisar, who's just kind of there. I'd originally put it like Strider in on a horse and a banner in the Rohan side, and I was like, that's the same point. This should make him Elisar. Because I was thinking at the time, I was like, oh, if I just smash it together, I'll have like when Theoden and Dernhelm were charging in, Aragorn on foot coming across the other side. I was like, well, I've got a bit of a horse, so it was a good plus. And I was like, I might as well make him Elisar, and it all escalated a little bit, and then it became dirty, and I liked it. So that was my first day one list. Theoden was my leader. So for day 2, Theoden died, which meant I had to replace Theoden. Wow. So I put in.
He succumbed to the curse of the imp.
Yes.
As was the theme of the event.
He died.
Yeah, he died.
So day 2, I brought in AMR and just dropped like a rider and an outrider, and used a couple of points to put some throwing spears on other dudes, and that was basically the same army. But it meant Elisar was now my leader, which is because of the scenarios and stuff, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, that was what I did. Jamie, what did you do?
Well, I have a very nice guy here who will show the people what I did.
You love him.
So yeah, I am I'm an Uruk-hai Scout player. That's my primary force. So for day one, I took Lurtz in his Legendary Legion. Lurtz's scouts. Lurtz is my leader. Ugluk is my lieutenant. I then had Malher, an Uruk-hai scout captain with a shield, 2 Uruk-hai with banners, an Uruk-hai drum, 12 Uruk-hai scouts with bows, and 27 Uruk-hai scouts with shields, for a grand total of 43 Uruk-hai.
It's not bad.
Apparently it was.
No, that's incorrect. I think the same list came third, didn't it?
Yeah, pretty. No, I had more bows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I had a banner and a drum. I had the 2 banners. I think he only had 1. I'm not sure if he had a drum either.
You didn't have a drum.
Yeah.
No.
See, got to take a drum and Lurtz's scouts at that many points.
But to be fair, I didn't play as Lurtz's scouts. I played as Ugluk scouts.
Okay, yeah. And then obviously Ugluk as my lieutenant. So on day 2, I dropped Lurtz the drummer and 5 Uruk-hai with shields, and added in Grishnak, Snaga, and 10 Mordor orcs with spear and shield to make Ugluk scouts. I then had a grand total of 48 models, 36 Uruk-hai, 12 orcs, which is the way I like to balance it. I want more Uruk-hai than orcs, because
just a few spear supports where they're needed.
Yeah, a few spear supports. Put Grishnak and Snaga in. It did mean on day 2 I had 13 might, which was quite nice, apart from the fact that I played against the Fellowship, who had more.
Did you?
Yeah, I played against the Fellowship.
The whole Fellowship?
Well, I mean, I think Gandalf was missing and somehow turned into Heldir.
We'll talk about that later. Sorry.
We'll talk about that later. I'm not salty at all. I'm very salty. I'm very salty.
So that's what we took. Feel free to like pause, jump down in the comments and be like, Tom's going to win, Jamie's going to win. Let us know. Jamie wins Themey points. I was not Themey.
I definitely won the Themey points at the 2 of us.
I was going to take like normal Rohan, but Theowine's grey, so I didn't. Basically,
I mean, to be fair, Snaga's also grey.
Don't tell Harry.
Harry let a freaking pink army play.
All right, so
the controversy is real.
we've got tournament. So to get tournament was using Tawny.
Yes, it was.
I've got that up here, so I'm going to like kind of reference my games on the laptops. If I look like I'm looking at some other stuff, it's just that. So
yeah,
my game one,
I'm doing the same. I am interested. I'm just looking at my phone for points.
Scenario game 1 was a unique custom scenario to this event called Seize the Imp. It's like Seize the Prize, except the prize is alive, essentially. You've got to bag it up on a 4-up.
Yeah, to pick up the prize, you had to bag it up on a 4-up. You weren't allowed to pass the prize like you normally can. And at the start of each turn, after priority, I believe.
After priority.
Yeah.
After
you roll a dice.
Heroics.
Yeah. You roll a dice.
3-up.
On a 1 or 2, the imp escapes. And the person who lost priority can move it up to 4 inches.
Yeah.
It ignored models, ignored terrain, but couldn't end in anybody's control zone.
Yes.
So it's quite unique, quite themey. The guy I played against had the imp and never rolled a 1 or a 2. So really fun.
I was playing a guy called Ben Pearson. He had brought a nice little Mordor list across. I think he's got triple caster in there. So he's got the Witch King on Crown. He's got Grishnak, the Mouth of Sauron, and Kardush. So the Mouth of Sauron and the Witch King are both mounted. He's then got a whole load of Black Luminoreans, a whole load of Morannon orcs, a couple of Wild Riders, and then Mordor orcs with spears chucked in there, just to round it out a little bit. And basically, I marched up onto the relic, onto the imp, got it turn 1. You had to dismount still to get it. So I've got it on like a dude on foot. And then I just kind of shepherded him across the board. Aragorn kind of sat next to him. What I was really honestly hoping was that he would drop the imp, because then like Theoden or Durnhell with their expert rider could just run up and pick it up, because that was in the thing, but you could still do that. So then I could pick it up and move it with a cav model rather than move it on foot. And I could also, then you could use your might to keep the imp around. So that would have been really helpful. But unfortunately, I just kept the imp the whole time and slowly shuffled off the board with my dude on foot. Awful lot of magic casting. I think Aragorn ended up getting transfixed about 20 million times. Bless him, poor sod. Durnhell managed to pull off like a nice little throw at combat, squeeze through a gap and get into Cardouche, which was quite good. She had a great little game. But other than that, I mean, I got the imp, kept the imp, ran off the table. I think it ended up in an 8-1 win because we were both broken by the end of it.
Nice. Just a little side note as well for everybody watching. The imp was an actual model of the imp, and if you won the game on game one, you got to keep the imp.
Honestly, it was the entire purpose of my being was to win this imp.
So Tom has an imp.
He's downstairs. I haven't got him up here. I should have been more prepared.
We will read through the list that I played against with scouts. I played against Darren Dickinson. Dickinson. He had, his list is called Aragorn, Faramir, Hurin. So let's guess what is in it. It's led by Boromir. No, it's obviously led by Aragorn, King Elisar with Armored Horse. 4 Guard of the Fountain Cult shields, 5 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, 9 Warriors of Minas Tirith with spear and shield. Then have Faramir with horse, heavy armor, lance, and shield, 3 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, 3 Rangers of Gondor with spears. Hurin the Tall with a horse, a Knight of Minas Tirith with a shield, 2 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shields, and 2 Rangers of Gondor with spear. So I definitely had the numbers because I had 11 models more. And I got absolutely butchered.
It's one of the things you really don't want to see with like scouts. Is just like one massive hero.
Yeah. So the problem is against this list, Darren played really well. Fair play to Darren. It was a really good game. The terrain did not suit me at all. We played on a dwarven board, not a single tree in sight. And the middle of the board almost bottlenecked. He got Aragorn and basically a shield wall. And I had to like funnel in and just died. And then Aragorn did Aragorn things and I died a little bit more. And that's how that game went.
Nice.
So yeah, after game one, Tom was 1-0 and I was 0-1.
Yeah. So I went over to play an ice jet. So game two scenario was domination. Domination. Yes.
It was domination.
Yes. So that's the one with lots of objectives. Don't get on the objectives. You get points if you have
5 objectives, 1 on the center point, and then the other 4 placed alternatively by the players.
Yes. So I was playing against Stephen Mcdonald. He had Rivendell. So he's got everyone on a horse, Glorfindel on a horse, and then a whole literally just a shield wall of elves and a couple of knights sat on the side. A couple of interesting things to note is that he didn't bring any banners with his elves. Not sure why. Asked him why. He didn't know why either.
So, I love that. Why have you done this? No
idea. We played domination. Because on this one you can deploy it's 12 inches
up to the half. No, it's up to the half.
It's up to the half. Yes, because I deployed 8 inches back from the front. He put all his elves in pretty much up on the front. He dropped them all in almost within charging distance. So pretty much turn 1 might have been turn 2. Aragorn, Theoden, Durnhelm, all my Royal Guard slammed straight into his elf wall. All my Royal Guard are fight 5 because we're charging because of Rohan. Aragorn, Durnhelm, Theoden, they all popped her at combat. Aragorn popped her at combat. Durnhelm and Theoden struck up. Theoden stayed back, so he buffed everyone and kept himself safe. But Durnhelm struck up, Aragorn combated, and just everyone kind of smashed into him. And I killed 7 elves turn 1. And then from that point on, it was pretty happy sailing. I was a little bit scared of Elrond and Glorfindel, but he'd left them. He basically put a shield wall, and then he put Elrond and Glorfindel in front, just behind it. So I killed these bits, and left this bit alone. So when he had Elrond and Glorfindel, he couldn't get them out. He'd kind of trapped them behind his own dudes. So it took him a couple of turns to get them into the action. And then Glorfindel came into Aragorn with a little heroic strike roll of an Aragorn won. And then Glorfindel got hurt. And then I ran over, got Elrond off, and it was honestly a bit of a massacre. 1-12 in the end, got every objective. It was one of those games, like everything that could possibly go right went right, basically. So yeah, that was that. How did it go for you?
So my game, I played against Joseph Parker, who was the spoon winner in the end. And he had the Shire and Rangers.
Nice.
So in my game too, I was a little bit upset by getting beaten up by Aragorn, so I went beat up a load of hobbits. His leader was Aragorn Strider with Anduril and bow. He had Will Woodfoot. It was just Aragorn in the warband by himself. He had no troops.
Yes.
Will Woodfoot with 12 hobbits. Farmer Cotton with another 12 hobbits. And Balbo Twopenny with another 12 hobbits. And then he had another 3 warbands after that. One which was a Ranger of the North with a spear, one which was a Dunedain, and one which was Gandalf the Grey. On foot. Everybody was on foot. No tricky horses for any of these heroes. And he actually
Aragorn on foot.
Aragorn on foot with a bow.
Suicidal.
Yeah. And he actually played at 697 points. So he was 3 points down. I mean, personally, I would have dropped Aragorn's bow, found 2 points from somewhere, and put Aragorn on the horse.
Yeah. Aragorn and Gandalf should be mounted.
Yeah, I completely agree. But it was a great game against Joseph. Playing on one Uruk-hai scout heroically decided that he was going to jump on a trap so that all of his mates could get through safely. Turned out to be a pitfall trap, so the one Uruk was then just sat in a hole for pretty much the whole game.
I like to actually just line across it. And all the other Uruks ran over the top of him.
It's essentially what happened. Because, well, otherwise Lurtz was going to probably get hit by a pit or a snare or something. So the way he set up, he had Balbo's warband. And then I set up Lurtz's warband. So it was Lurtz, 11 Uruk-hai with shields, the drum and a banner. And he then put 4 traps, as many traps as he could, in between Lurtz and Balbo.
Yeah.
So it's right, this is going to be annoying. So I ran an Uruk onto each trap, basically. 2 of them flipped over and were blank. And 1 of them flipped over and was a pitfall. So 1 Uruk just jumped in a pit to let everybody else walk over the top of him. And the hobbits got eaten very quickly.
Uruks will do that to them.
Very quickly. Where he deployed Will Woodfoot was it was a Goblin Town board, and there was a piece of Goblin Town terrain in the center that had the objective on. He deployed Will and his warband on the terrain. Gandalf on foot next to the terrain, and Aragorn with Will, but behind a few hobbits. Everybody in my army is 8-inch move because it's the Legendary Legion. Yeah. I put Malher as close to Will as possible, and then on first turn, Malher and a load of Uruk-hai just smashed into the hobbits. One guy jumped into Aragorn. I had bows set up, shot into Aragorn's combat, killed my own guy, left Aragorn stood there, which is my favorite tactic to do. Charge the big hero, kill your own guy, leave him stood there, leave him useless for the combat phase, which is, people don't like it when you do this, which is why I do it. Yeah, and then I was just taking pot shots at Aragorn and Gandalf, and yeah, a lot of hobbits died very quickly. Yeah, it was a fun game. I do not know what the points ended, but I definitely won the game.
Hey, you won a game.
I did win a game, so I was now 1-1.
Cool.
1-1.
I had the scary situation here where I was 2-0 and had the highest VP diff. So I ended up on table 1. And the next game, we were playing another custom scenario. It's based off the Duel of Wits doubles game.
Yes.
So basically,
yes,
your leader and his warband start right in the middle, and the rest of your troops start on the opposite board edge. So you've got like here and your troops, and then the other guy's leader starts right here, and his troops start over there. So you've got like the other guy, 2 leaders fighting against each other, and then the other armies come in the back of each other. I was okay with this because again, I'm all mounted, pretty speedy. My leader's Feyre then, so Aragorn's at the back, so he can pop a free heroic march and run himself in. In this one, I'm playing against Joe. Joe has got Lurtz of Scouts, and we're playing on table 1. So it was like a village board with a whole like a couple of big buildings, and I put myself in front like with a big building behind me so that his other warband couldn't kind of get round, and he got really excited because he thought I'd trap myself against it, but I was very careful to leave like an inch behind my dudes. So he just slammed Lurtz straight into Fade and a bunch of Royal Guard and things, but kept Lurtz back to try and keep him safe. But he pulled him out to the side, and I don't think he quite realised how quick Aragorn is. So Aragorn popped that march off and brought the whole rest of my army basically looped round, stared Lurtz straight in the face and said, "I'm coming for you next turn." So we got Dernhelm and Aragorn into Lurtz. He pulled a guy around into
very
Aragorn.
dead Lurtz.
Well, no. He pulled a guy off into Aragorn. So Aragorn was off to combat. Aragorn popped the heroic combat. So he thought I was coming into Lurtz, so he struck up with Lurtz. But I chucked him into the banner, killed the banner. And then next turn brought him into Lurtz. Dernhelm struck up, beat Lurtz, knocked him down, 8 dice to wounds, rolled 6 ones, 1, 2, and 1 wound. But yeah, that was the most amount of ones I've ever seen on a dice. I mean, he pretty much picked Lurtz up after Lurtz lost that fight. But then, yeah, he survived. But then next turn, Aragorn got into Lurtz. Then that was a dead Lurtz. And at that point, I mean, that was basically the game. So all I had to do was just pull Theoden away from him and let Aragorn go. You got points of killing their lieutenant. So I sent Dernhelm Ugluck hunting, basically, and kept Aragorn back, being a banner and free heroic moving, just to keep Theoden safe. But yeah, that ended up in another win. So 3-0, got my win on table 1. So
nice.
I'm in a scary position now. I didn't really like that. 3-0, chilling out on top of table 1. How did yours go?
So I played against Raymond Wakeley. I'm gonna call him by his nickname because his nickname's so much cooler. So his nickname on tourney is Raymundo.
Ooh.
Which is spicy. Raymundo was playing Minas Tirith.
Another one.
Because I apparently love playing Boromir or Aragorn because 3rd game of the day, 3rd time that I'm either playing Boromir or Aragorn. So he had Boromir with a shield, no banner, no horse, no lance. Boromir on foot, Minas Tirith Boromir with a shield. He then had 7 Minas Tirith warriors with shields. He had 7 Minas Tirith warriors with spears without shields. 1 Minas Tirith warrior with a banner. He then had Faramir on a horse with a shield and heavy armor. 6 Rangers of Gondor, 6 Rangers of Gondor with spear, 1 guard at the Fountain Court with a shield, Damrod, and 6 Knights of Minas Tirith with shield. And finally, he had a Gondor Avenger Bolt Thrower with Swift Reload.
This list confuses me.
This list confuses me and makes me very hating towards Avenger Bolt Throwers. Because the first shot it took, it goes, well, I roll 7 shots. I'm going to put them all into Malher.
7 shots?
It does that.
No, it doesn't.
Whatever it did, it hurt.
It's 2d6, pick the highest.
It's late. It must have been 6 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just put a load of shots into Malher. Oh, strength 7, isn't it?
Strength 7, yeah.
So he did six shots at strength 7 into Malher, who's D5.
Yeah, so wouldn't you
just went dead. Great. Malher, 3 points of might, hadn't spent any. He took 4 wounds. He's only got 1 fate, 2 wounds. So it's like, well,
4
he's
wounds
dead.
is impressive. That's some dice, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got hits on 4s and wounds on 3s.
Hits on 4s, wounds on 3s. And
so you're looking at like
just
2 on average.
Just very dead.
Yeah.
Which hurt. Yeah, because who needs Malher in Let's Scouts?
Irrelevant.
So yeah, it didn't go well. That was but obviously because of the deployment, he deployed because you had to be within so far of the center point of the map.
Yeah.
Because in the doubles version, you could deploy along a 6-inch strip. But in the custom one, you had to be within so much of the center. 10 inches of the center. He deployed Boromir's warband slightly to his right. So I deployed Lurtz slightly to my right. So his Boromir was like here, and my Lurtz was like here. So I had Lurtz with a banner, 11, and a drum. So immediately I won priority first round, called Heroic March with Lurtz and banged the drum. I just went 14 inches towards myself.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go. We're out of here.
It was really funny. I was looking around at some of the tables around us, and everyone else seemed to have got their armies like back together, was chilling out, playing like an almost normal game.
Yeah.
And I looked down at ours, and it's just a mess. Like I've just plowed straight through this guy. I've got Uruk-hai all around me, basically.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I think we played it properly.
Where Lurtz started, he set up 12 Rangers of Gondor behind him, essentially.
Yeah.
It was like, don't really fancy that, so I'm just gonna buy. But then where he set up, I had 12 Uruk-hai bone behind him, and he moved towards himself, obviously bringing Boromir, the banner, and his 14 warriors in Minas Tirith with him, and he went towards himself a bit. He was still in my range, so I just popped 12 shots straight into his warriors in Minas Tirith. I think I killed 4 in the first turn with shooting, which is like, this is going well. And then turn 2, Malher died. It just started going very badly. One thing that did go well for me, I split Ugluk and a couple of Uruk-hai off to one side, and his knights almost chased them. But then his knights stopped behind some terrain. There was a rock and some trees. And his knights almost sat behind that because they didn't want to move into my charge range. And they also want to stay out of my bow range.
Yeah.
So he had 6 knights that were just sort of holding position. And I was like, well, it's Ugluk and 4 Uruk-hai scouts. I'm quite happy. If they do nothing all game apart from keep your 6 knights sat there, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, Ugluk, I'd quite like to be in the action there because you want his strikes, don't you? But
yeah.
Those are your lieutenants, you got to keep them safe as well, haven't you, in this one?
There was that as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had Faramir on a horse, Boromir. It just wasn't, I didn't really want to fight that, to be honest. My 12 archer gun line then was taking where his knights were. I was like, well, I can actually reach you with 3 of these on the end. So it took 3 shots, killed a knight.
Nice.
He then moved them back slightly, so I moved them all up 4 inches on the next turn. Took 12 shots into his 2 knights that were behind the trees. So right, roll 12 shots, hitting on 5s. I think I got like 6 hits. Rolled in the ways, all went through the trees. Put 6 shots onto his knights and killed another 2. So his knights were literally just sort of holding position and getting shot.
Yeah.
Which went quite well for me, but yeah, I just couldn't deal with Boromir.
No.
He just ripped.
He does that to people. Yeah.
Yeah. Boromir just ripped through my scouts, and yeah, I lost that game.
Yeah. Fair enough. So you 1 and 2 now, 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
Yeah. Nice. So game 4. Game 4 was Assassination.
It was Assassination.
So I was playing against Nicky Mylans,
Nice.
off of Elysian War Games. He had brought with him Erebor.
Mm-hmm.
So he had Dane Ironfoot on Pig as his leader.
Nice.
But then he had Fror and 15 Guardians of the King. And Thorin on foot. And 14 Warriors of Erebor with Spear and Shield. So it's just a mass of dwarfs, basically.
Yep.
Now, part of me went, oh, sweet. I play this list all the time because this is what Lee uses all the time. Still don't really know what to do about it. And at this point, it's game 4. Like we got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to head up here. So I was pretty shattered. And it's Assassination. So I've got to choose either Aragorn or Dernhelm to go and kill either Fror or Thorin. So I chose Aragorn and I chose Fror because I thought he would expect me to choose Thorin. Was basically what I went for. So I'll go for Fror because Aragorn doesn't care. He'll kill him on 4 up. And I don't care how much fate you've got that's rerollable. If Aragorn gets you, you're going down. Turns out Aragorn didn't get him. Basically, I had 2 options. I could either run away the entire game and pepper him with bow shots and pepper him with bow shots and pepper him with bow shots. But first of all, that's really boring for both of us. And second of all, I've tried that against dwarfs. Doesn't work. They just don't die. So there's no point bothering. So what I went for instead was set up a kind of archy wall, force him to make a decision about where he wanted to go, put most of my heroes on one side, expecting him to kind of come across to deal with the heroes, and then I'd envelop him with the other guys. He went, nah, you're all right. I'll go kill all your troops. So went over, did a couple of heroic combats with Dane, and just murdered all of my riders, basically. Then the heroes got in the back, but I got my heroes into his troops and killed a few of his troops, and then his heroes came across and dropped Dernhelm pretty quickly. As it got towards the end of the game, I literally had Aragorn LSR chilling out on a horse and Theoden chilling out on a horse, and that was it. It was the end conditions are broken, roll a 1 or 2. We went so many turns with Aragorn just chilling out, stabbing away at stuff.
Yeah.
Because he didn't bring his heroes in because there's no need for him. So he just kept throwing troops into Aragorn. Aragorn's there just hacking down troops left, right, and center, but doesn't do anything for anyone. In the end, I managed to get him broken just from Aragorn sitting there stabbing away at troops.
Nice.
But Aragorn eventually went down. So he got his condition, which was to kill Aragorn, I think. Yes, it was to kill Aragorn. And then, but he didn't kill Theoden. Theoden survived, I think. So it was like an 8-1 loss. But that was my first loss. It was 1 and 3. And I kind of butchered the game a little bit. Because I gambled on him going that way, and he was like, was just too canny and went the other way. I forgot I was playing on table 1. Thought I was still playing that somewhere in the middle, and was like, don't take this bait. And he just went, nah, I'm not doing that. Not biting on that. So that was that. That was day 1 for me. Done.
Yeah. So my game 4, I played against Jack Smith, and I'm going to miss one model out of his list just to see if people understand
I've already
what
remembered what this
happens.
was.
Turns out, as Tom said, we got up at about 3:00 in the morning. Well, he did. I was up all night painting because I am Mr. Last Minute. I perfectly have the perfect pop vinyl figure to show you what happened by game 4 with my Lurtz pop vinyl figure here. So I will just quickly grab it because this will be funny.
While he's grabbing this, if you listen to the DCHL podcast, they were talking about this list on there. He submitted it to them for review, and they're chatting about it. Just so you know, spoilers.
Yeah. So this is basically what happened. Mr. Lurtz, meet the Balrog.
Oh, it's not that list. Sorry, I thought we were talking about a different list.
Yeah. Well, turns out this does not go well for Lurtz. So he had the Balrog, Durbers, a Goblin Captain, a Goblin Shaman. He had 6 Goblins with bows, 13 with spear, 13 with shield, and a Bat Swarm. And the Balrog, I don't know if I mentioned that, he had a Balrog on assassination. So my assassin was Malheur. My target was the Goblin Captain, and he put the Goblin Captain down. It's like, great, sweet. Put Malheur down in a position to go straight for the Goblin Captain, and then he put the Balrog right next to the Goblin Captain. Like, at that point, I was more than happy just to say, good game, I'm going to go for a nap. Because, it went very poorly. By the end of the game, I mean, he had 2 models left on the field. One was a Goblin Archer, and the other one, well, it was the Balrog. The Balrog took 1 wound the whole game and murdered everybody.
It'll do that.
Yeah.
It's, to be fair, wounding him is a victory.
Yeah, I got 1 wound on it.
That's like a moral victory.
Yeah, I was happy about. I did kill the Goblin Captain. I had Malheur and Ugluk on the Goblin Captain. He then free heroic combated with the Balrog and went into Malheur, taking Malheur off the Goblin Captain. It's like, no, that's my assassin. And then Ugluk decided, do you know what? I'm going to kill the Goblin Captain here. Malheur actually survived the Balrog that round. The Balrog rolled terribly. I actually won the duel. Couldn't wound the Balrog, but it was like, my assassin's still alive, but the target died.
That's still like 5 points, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's 1 if you wound it, 3 if you wound it with the right guy, with the right assassin, 5 if you kill it, and 7 if you kill it with the assassin.
7 if you kill it, 7 if you kill it with the assassin. That sounds about right. So I got about 5 points. Obviously, his target was the Scout, Urukai Scout Captain. His assassin was Durbers. He did not get the kill with Durbers. He got it with Balrog. So he got 5 points. I got 5 points. He got points for killing my leader. I got 1 point for wounding his leader, I believe. We both were broken. So like he won the game. But yeah, I got tabled by the Balrog.
I mean, it'll do that.
It's like, and so at the end of day 1, I was sitting on 1 and 3 and had run into Elisar, Aragorn, Boromir, Balrog. It's just like, really? I did not have a good day 1. The only thing that went well for me on day 1 was beating up hobbits.
Yeah, I mean that's always fun for everyone.
Yeah.
After day 1, obviously leader died. So coming into day 2, I've now got
go away. Balrog.
I've got Aomer now. Aragorn's moved up to my leader. The reason I did it this way around instead of taking Aragorn out and putting Theoden as my leader and going like pure Rohan was partly because Dale Wine's unpainted, and partly because scenario 1 on day 2 is Contest of Champions. So I was like, give me LSR, let him smack some people around. I'll have a great time.
Yeah.
Instead, what I decided to do was get drawn against Sean and his Disco Uruks. We played on the table you played on earlier, the Goblin Town board.
Yeah.
So it had a like platform in the middle. I was like, oh, great, little disco platform. Aragorn's going to stand on this and defend the platform with his life. Then what he did, we ended up with basically like Aragorn, Dernhelm, and a bunch of Royal Guard on the platform. And he had all of his Uruk lead, because he was playing Uruk Scouts. He had all of his heroes on the platform, and then a few other dudes, and it turned into like a big brawl in the middle, basically. Any other spare riders I had were like swinging around picking off the spare Oryx, except they weren't, because it was getting like 5 Oryx into one dude. I think during this game I lost every single heroic move roll off, and all of my heroic strikes were like a 1 or a 2.
Nice.
So I did manage to kill a lot of Uruks with Aragorn, because he was kind of feeding him Urukai and sending Lurtz and Ugluk and Grishnak and things off to like go and kill riders. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this could go well here. I could accidentally beat him just because he's going to kill all my riders too quickly.
Yeah.
But then he realized that, and then he put Ugluk, Grishnak, Schnagger, a captain, some other friends, a whole lot of spear sports into Aragorn, struck up, and Aragorn did a strike, and Aragorn rolled a 1 on his heroic strike. Grishnak went up to fight 10. They won the fight. Aragorn died.
Grishnak went up to fight 10, so he rolled a 6.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought about doing a heroic defense of Aragorn, but then I looked at it, and he had, I think it was 24 attacks into Aragorn, and Aragorn was trapped. So there were 48 dice. So even though he needs natural 6s, like 48 dice, the odds on him getting Aragorn already taken a wound or 2 from shooting into combats and things. So lost fate rather than shoot wounds. So it's like the odds are he's going to get 4 or 5 wounds through anyway with that amount of dice. So I was like, I'll gamble it on the strike. Lost a gamble. Aragorn died. Ugluk had more kills than him. He won the game, basically. So it all came down to that one little combat, which is annoying because I hate when it all comes down to like one little thing, and you don't want to be like, oh, dice let me down. But like, I mean, it did. But he shouldn't have been in that situation anyway. I love the airy terrain, but that board on that mission,
it's bad.
Really upset me.
It's bad
because it was like a little. You couldn't go anywhere. You were trapped on this little platform, basically. It was a bit annoying, but it happens a bit.
For Conquest of Champions, for me, I was playing Ugluk Scouts for the first time. First time I've ever played Ugluk Scouts, and it is not better than Lurtz's, in my opinion. I played against Rowan Williams, who had the Last Alliance. So on day 1, he had Elrond, and his lieutenant was Isildur. Elrond obviously then went because this was day 2, so Isildur was now his leader. He had Isildur, 10 warriors of Numenor, 5 with shield, 5 with spears, 4 Numenorians with bows. He had Círdan, 3 high elves, a high elf with a banner, and then he also had Glorfindel with Aslov and the Gondolin armor, a Rivendell knight with a shield, a Rivendell knight, 1 high elf, apparently, 2 high elves with shields, 4 high elves with spears, and 1 high elf with a bow. And he had a nice little shield wall set up that was essentially elves in the front, Numenor in the back, Numenor covering the flanks, Isildur, Glorfindel knights prepared to just run at people. Yeah, you get a fight 5, defense 6, shield wall with a strength 4 hit coming in from behind. Yeah.
Not and fun. Then your elf heroes and a banner.
Yeah. And a banner.
Yeah.
And he had a banner
with elves.
Yeah.
Got to get a banner.
And And what he also did was he had Kurdan. So he casted Aura of Dismay on turn 1, channeled so that it was exhaustion. Kurdan has a 3 point of will, so never exhausts, which is really fun. So for the whole game, he had terror.
I think exhaustion technically counts when he runs out of like his natural will.
Yep, he never ran out of his natural will.
Ah, fair. I thought you meant like
It
he was
was-
claiming that he was 3 point of wills.
No, so essentially what he did was he spent 2 will and the 3 point to cast Aura of Dismay.
Yeah.
Left the 1 point of will on
And
his
through
profile,
one dice.
and
yeah.
then for the rest of the game, threw 1 dice trying to cast Enchanted Blades. So
Yeah.
he always had 1 will in his store. So he kept Aura of Dismay up. So he had terror for the whole game. I'm courage 3 on Urukai, courage 2 on Orcs, courage 4 on all my heroes. Malher decided he didn't want to fight once. Grishnak decided he didn't want to fight 3 times. It did not go well. It did not go well. The only thing that I can really take from this whole game is Glorfindel lost his horse, all his fate, and 2 wounds. Glorfindel very nearly died, which would have made me happy because he scares me.
He's a monster.
Yeah, I did kill both of his Rivendell knights. Glorfindel and Isildur were both on foot at the end of the game. I did kill a fair few. The problem was I was winning duels and not wounding. I won quite a lot of duels, didn't wound, but as soon as he won a duel, he killed. So
Yeah.
and then like you draw a duel roll, and they're like, so like Malher, it might have been my captain. My captain was like in on a elf bow, and the elf bow drew the fight because they both fight 5, and then won the roll off on a 3 because he's elven blade.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Oh my god. He didn't wound the captain, but then in the next turn, the elf and 2 Numenorian bowmen surrounded the captain and just brutally killed him because the same thing happened again. He won the roll off on a 3 and killed the captain in combat.
See, when I played Rivendell, I had a great time because Aragorn's also got an elven made sword.
Yeah. The only way you can get an elven blade if you're evil is by taking Andor in Easterlings.
Yeah. Well, which is only right, really, isn't it? It should be
Doesn't
running
go
around
well.
with elven made.
It doesn't go well.
So good night, like over the Orcs.
So I lost again.
So I'm now 3-2, and you're.
And I am 1-4. It's just not going well.
Yeah, my descent started the slow fall from grace.
Yeah.
So I played. The next scenario was Breakthrough. It was this one was down to like there were only 2. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Was it Breakthrough? Oh, it was Breakthrough, yeah.
There were only 2 ones which you actually rolled up on the day. So this one was either Breakthrough or Clash by Moonlight. I very much wanted Clash by Moonlight.
So did I.
Playing against Ugluk Scouts, but he didn't have as many bows as you did, and I have an awful lot of throwing weapons. But alas, Breakthrough. Normally, I'd be pretty happy with Breakthrough against most armies, but it's a Scout Legion. They're faster than cavalry because he's got a drum, he's got march. So I put most of my dudes right up on the center, kind of going, well, let's just fight it out, but I'm going to leave a couple of guys back here and hope I get the middle 2 and the game finishes. But he took Malher, a drum, and a whole load of Urukai all the way around the table. He managed to get pinned in some places. Like I got a couple of riders in and just like blocked off a couple of channels, held them there. It's a 25% ender. I was 1 model off 25% in. Me getting 25%ed because I realized that I was going to win if the game ended because I had his objective and one of the middle ones and my own contesting the other middle one. and he like that was all he had was one contested middle one. So he realized this and started shielding and not killing troops and stuff. Game on another turn. He got through, took my objective. My other dude contesting the other one ran away. It all went wrong, and I lost this one as well. But it came down to one turn. Like most of my, other than the one against Nikki on day one, my 2 losses on day 2 were both like came down to one like dice roll basically. Because on that turn I had one rider who had got surrounded by like 4 Uruks before he kind of realized about the 25%ing. That one rider accidentally won his combat. And then he because he'd now realized he like didn't take his banner reroll.
Yeah, like, you lost the game because your one rider won a fight.
Yeah, against like 4 Uruks. It didn't even charge, so it was 1 dice.
Yeah,
the little rascal.
Yeah, but that's funny. That's funny.
Bless him. And I took axes on my guys as well. So I thought, piercing strike. So he's even softer to kill. But no, didn't happen. So yeah, that was that one. Down to 3 and 3 where I belong.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about my one.
No.
Okay. So I had 43 models on breakthrough. My opponent had 9.
9? Like the fellowship?
9. Like the fellowship. But how do you have the fellowship if your leader dies on day 1?
Wow, Bill Apodial sub in, right?
I mean,
you could almost have a breaking of the fellowship.
Or you could take breaking of the fellowship and just for no particular bloody reason, get the TO's permission to add in Hellbeer into a legendary legion and use all the bonuses and the banner rerolls and the Light of Erendil and everything else that this filthy list has. You should not be able to use at 700 points. And yes, he did that. And yeah, the banner rerolls won him the game. So I'm very salty about this one because I got illegally beaten.
I did think about trying to use AMR's Theoden died special rule to get +1 to wounds for the entire of day 2, but I thought that was a bit much.
So yeah, so I mean, it was a fun game, but yeah, I was just slightly annoyed that he was getting a rule that he shouldn't really be able to use.
Yeah.
And it made all the difference.
Yeah, that's big. So game 7.
Game 7,
which was also.
Am I going to get win number 2 of the whole tournament on the last game?
Game 7 was never rolled off one, so it could have been Commander Battlefield, which is table quarters, or the other one, which it wasn't.
Fog of War.
Oh yes, Fog of War. See, I love Fog of War, but I'm happy with not having had it on this scenario.
Yeah, so we did go Commander Battlefield, and this being the last game, we've now had 7 games. I've had scouts for all 7 games, and there was no reconnoiter, which makes me really sad because it's my favorite mission to play because I run everywhere.
It's great though because you've got Lurtz, right, and he can just bring you on wherever he wants because Maelstrom back. Oh wait.
Oh no! Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's sad.
I know.
So do you want to go first? You go first.
No Maelstrom when I've got Lurtz. Suddenly I go to Ugly. They go, do you know what? Let's play Maelstrom now. Great.
If only they told you what scenarios were before you got there.
Yeah, I got upset by this. So I played against Joe Garman, and now this is the list that you're on about that got sent in and was talked about quite a lot.
Yes.
Let's see if you can guess what this list is, because it is named Minas Tirith and the White Council. It is led by Boromir, Captain of the White Tower, with horse, banner, and shield. He then had 4 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, 2 Warriors of Minas Tirith with spear and shield, 2 Rangers of Gondor with spear, 2 Knights of Minas Tirith with shields. He then had Syrian, Lieutenant of Amon Barad, 4 Warriors Minister for Shield, 2 Warriors Minister for Spear and Shield, 4 Guard of the Family Court with Shield, 2 Rangers of Gondor with Spear. Warband 3, he had Iralas, Captain of the Guard, with 3 Citadel Guard. And then for some really weird reason, I don't know why you'd quite do this, his Warband 4 was Galadriel, the Lady of Light.
I mean, I know exactly why you do it.
Yeah.
I know why you do it.
Yeah.
Because it's filth. In theory.
I mean, I might just start putting Galadriel, Lady of Light, in every list because apparently it's acceptable to do.
I mean, calm down. We're not in the States. Like, if you listen to anyone talking about the American meta, Galadriel, Lady of Light, every single list. But that's because they have like Fell Beasts and Angmar pretty much everywhere. I mean, she's the perfect counter to it. If you're playing Good versus Evil, you chuck her in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd been that fussed about her in there in a non-Good versus Evil tournament, just because.
No.
I mean, the amount
chances of playing against good.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, chances of playing against good, and then it's not that great. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I played against. And obviously, we were doing Maelstrom. I won the dreaded turn 1 priority, which is always sucky. I did not want priority on turn 1, but it happened. So I rolled for Ugluk's Warband, who was my leader first. Rolled a 1. Fair enough, we'll keep that. I then rolled for Malher, and my opponent got to choose east or west, put him on the east board edge. I then rolled for my scout captain. I rolled badly again. My opponent got to place him north or south, put him north, which was my side of the battlefield, but as far away from Malher as he possibly could. So I had a Uruk-hai scout captain with a banner and 9 Uruk-hai, I believe, that were just way away from everything. And then my next warband was Snaga and 5 orcs with shields. I rolled to place him north or south, so I placed him north, as close as trying to get down to Malher as I could. And then I rolled for Grishnak and brought him in. I rolled well for that one. I brought him in next to Malher. So I then had 2 warbands together, 1 reasonably close and 1 far away. He then rolled for Boromir, rolled east or west, and goes, I'm going to bring him in right next to Malher. So it's like, this is going to go badly.
People really hate your Malher, huh?
I know. It's almost like he's really good, like 3 attacks, strength 5 with heroic strength.
If only he had strike.
Yeah, if only he had strike, he'd be so good. I mean, he's good enough as it is. He makes everybody 8-inch move. Yeah, and then he brought in Iralas. He rolled well for that one as well. Brought him in near Boromir. He then rolled very poorly for Galadriel, and I put her in the very bottom corner, obviously 6 inches away from the corner. Like, go away.
Yeah.
You can go over there. He then rolled poorly again for Syrian, so I put him in the bottom corner as well on the so Syrian came in on the south board edge, Galadriel came in on the east, but they were both like as close to the bottom corner as they could be.
Yeah.
Like, go away. Over there.
Because Kirian's the one that does. I mean, he's not that good against you, really, is he? Because he's the terror anti-terror guy, Kirian.
I believe so. Yeah,
he's got strike. He's a cheap striker, isn't he? But
yeah. I mean, he's 55 points. So
yeah,
it's cheap. It's a cheap hero, which But yeah, so I basically was trying to then swarm around Boromir and Iralas as quickly as I could with my guys. Snaga snuck up through some woods and killed 2 rangers of Gondor with his orcs. My orcs then, I was then basically trying to swarm against Boromir's warband, which obviously was only numbering. So you had a shield wall set up of 6. He then had Boromir, 2 knights. The rangers had already been killed by Snaga. And he had Iralas and 3 Citadel Guard. So I was trying to just kill through them as quickly as I could. And yeah. But I don't think Boromir died in this game, but he did lose all his fate and his horse. I think he only had 1 wound left at the end of the game. I did manage to win this game basically because I had chucked Kirian and Galadriel out of the way and swarmed the rest.
That's the problem with Lady Light. I mean, I'd have been tempted. I don't know how badly he rolled for her, but I'd have been tempted to use pretty much all of her might to get her where she needed to be.
Yeah, so on my turn 2, I rolled again for Ugluk and used 2 of his might to bring him in near Malher and reinforce my position.
So, my one, I'm playing against an Isengard list, but this was not scouts. This was like a real, like, just mixed bag of Isengard.
Yeah.
It felt a bit like it was built for day 1, and then day 2 just ended up being a bit of a kind of the rest of the Isengard models we had. There might have been there might have been more thought to it. It might be not giving credit, but it just didn't. It felt a bit disjointed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Vincent Wong. He had Fried and Wolfsbane as his leader.
Yes.
A bunch of Urukai with sword and shield, a bunch of Urukai with pikes, even numbers, so 1-to-1 ratio, and a banner in there. Frieden was the only thing mounted. And a Crabane was in there.
Ooh,
then he had an Urukai captain with some more Urukai sword and shield, Urukai pikes, again in a 1-to-1 ratio. And then Vrasku, some more Urukai sword and shield and more Urukai pikes, and another Crabane. And then there were some Urukai bowmen somewhere kicking around. I think they're in the captain's warbands.
Scout bowmen.
Scout bowmen.
Yeah. Obviously, because Urukai can only take crossbows.
Yeah. Scout bowmen kicking in there.
So you had Rasku with the crossbow and didn't put crossbowmen in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it was a bit of an odd one.
Yeah.
So I looked at this and I went, cool. So the Crabane are my biggest problem here because they're
Yeah.
just going to flop around. Like, I can deal with Urukai. I'm not too scared about them. They'll just kind of box in the corner and die or kill me, one of the two. It's the Crabane that are the issue.
Yeah.
I went first on Maelstrom. I got 4-4-6 on my dice. So I brought everyone in the same place. So I brought Aemer's Warband in first. We brought them in, and then because I'm feeling spicy, I turned everyone round to face back at the board edge. They've all got their throwing spears up. I just stood there and stared at him. Brought Dernhelm in. She came on next to him, turned everyone round, stared straight back at him, throwing spears up. Brought Aragorn in and was kind of like, right, well, you can come in behind me if you want, but you'll get a volley of throwing spears straight in your face turn 1. So he rolled for Frieden. He got 2, so I could place him on my board edge that I just brought him from. So he mitered that down to a 1, so that he didn't have to come in into that volley of throwing spears I just set up, which is probably sensible. He rolled for his captain. He got to place his captain where he wanted, so he chucked him over on one of the other flanks behind a big old rock, so he could kind of set up a defensive formation.
Nice.
He, I think Vrasku failed to come in as well. Oh, he had Malher in there as well. So Malher had scout bowmen.
Yeah.
So they were marauder bowmen, so they can move forward and shoot. That was where the bowman came from. Malher, he rolled a 2. So he had Malher and his bows all were meant to be coming in next to Fairden, Aemir, so he mitered that down as well, so that they didn't come in. And then Vrasku rolled the natural 1 himself, so he didn't come in. So turn 1, I've got everything in my army all in one place. He's got a captain and a handful of Urukai. I was like, this is going great. So took everything over there to go beat them up. Left my outrider, sat back to kind of pin one corner. I moved half my dudes that way, half my dudes into the center, depending on where he came, so they can react. And then he got a thingy with Frieden and had to use another might to come in on that board edge. So he did. So Frieden used 2 might just for Maelstrom rolls. Vrasku came in on that board edge. No, Vrasku came in on the opposite side of the table, and Malhut came in on that board edge. So he used about half his might just for Maelstrom rolls. And I'm sitting there with Elisar going, this is going to go well at this point. But he's got most of his army together, except for Vrasku, who's way over there out of the way. At which point I thought he was going to leave Vrasku there.
Which would have been the perfect thing to have Vrasku and just a warband of crossbows.
Yes, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So you could see then he seemed like he was caught in two minds about whether to keep Vrasku still and send the crossbows in, or like bring them all together, or what.
Yeah.
So he kind of like moved them forward one turn, then kept them still another turn, and moved, it was a bit like,
yeah.
But anyway, my dudes got into him and swiftly murdered everything that we found. He flew the Crebain off. I couldn't get to the Crebain because he kept them safe, and then once I was in, he flew the Crebain off, and I couldn't get round through his dudes in the train to get to the Crebain. So the Crebain managed to get out. What he did do is use Vrasku very sensibly towards the end, because I broke him. The Uruk-hai don't need to do their courage tests when broken until 33, but the Crebain do. But you can opt to do the courage test. So like, you can opt to use a stand fast from Vrasku if you want to, which is what he did. You can. It's a thing. You don't have to roll your courage tests, but you can.
No, I'm just trying to think, why aren't the Crebain and the Isenguards?
They don't have the keyword. They're not Isengard keyword. So the Crebain and I think Fryden don't have the keyword. So Fryden's having to roll courage tests.
Yeah, because neither do the wild.
Nothing Dunland does.
Yeah, but if
until you put the
Oathmaker in, then the wild men get it. Yeah. So I was literally like, hang on. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
So Fryden's having to do courage tests to stay around once he's broken, and so do Crebain, which is great for me because I want M Crebain gone. So he's sending Vrasku now chasing after Crebain so we can pop his stand fast onto Crebain. Sensible. But he ended up having to use some might and will to keep him around. But the other Crebain, which is like, he charged him into my Outrider, tried to fight my Outrider, and then I got priority. I was like, should I put the Outrider into combat? And I was like, oh wait, it's a 50-50, but the Crebain runs away in it because he's courage free. Whereas if I charge him to combat, he's got 4 wounds. I'm never going to get through all 4. So I didn't charge him. The Crebain ran away. I got my corner that I wanted. All his Uruk-hai are dead. 25% of him. Last turn, I don't know if he didn't fully realise or what, but Dernhelm still had a bunch of might left. So she popped a heroic combat, and he left a wide open shot straight into Fryden. So I put Aragorn and Dernhelm into one Uruk, popped a heroic combat, sent Aragorn into Fryden, and sent Dernhelm off. But then Aragorn beat Fryden, but only rolled because Fryden's mounted. I didn't get the benefit, so I only had 3 dice. Only got 1 wound through, saved it with fate, didn't win the leader. But I still got 2 table quarters, contested another. He got 1, both broken. So I won that by 1 point. But that puts me on 4-3, which is quite nice. I always like being positive at the end. If I can go to a 6-7 game win and win 3 games, I'm happy. I had my time up the top for a bit, which probably didn't help, to be fair, because it meant I had some really hard games. Whereas if I'd chilled out down, like if I'd had my losses early, then bounce back up. But yeah, that was Lord of the Imps.
It was a fun event. I will give Harry his due. It was he had a couple of teething issues with Tawny, but I won't blame him for that. The event was well catered. There was some very good food put on.
Yes,
that Harry had organised. The food was very, very good. I mean, on the first day, there was a food truck that turned up that did jacket potatoes with toppings, which were very good. And then
it was like curry and stuff, not just beans and cheese.
Like chicken curry on top of jacket potato. It was very, very good. Harry then organised. If you pre-ordered, he would get everybody a Domino's pizza. So for £10, you could have a large Domino's pizza from a select menu. So there was pizzas then for the evening, and he then organised a quiz for the evening after the games had finished. He had a little bar set up. He had a load of soft drinks. He had a load of like refreshments, chocolate bars, and stuff that you could purchase from him for like good prices. And then on day 2, he obviously still had the bar going, still had the chocolate and that going. And for lunch, there was a burger company that turned up, and there was 3 different burgers you could choose from, and then 2 different types of fries. You could either have Cajun fries or halloumi fries, and that food was absolutely incredible. If you are in the Lincoln area or anything, it's called Barbell Burger Company. Barbell is in weightlifting. They were absolutely fantastic. Cannot give them any more praise.
Interestingly, how he said, because I was chatting to like about where he found these guys, and he said the Jack and Potato Company from the day one, and actually said, this burger company, great, give them a shout. Because he had the Jack and Potatoes last year, but I think he said he had them for both days or something. So he got this burger company in, and yeah, they were banging. Big props to them.
It was very, very good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, lovely event that wise. There's been a few things that have come out after it. Not really going to go into them, to be honest.
No.
If you're in the Facebook groups, go have a look, do what you want, think what you will of them. But yeah. And
you may even find a photograph of a certain player who ended up playing on the top table, who after game 1 of day 2 was asleep under one of the tables.
Yes. Yeah.
You know who you are. You know who you are.
It was an interesting one.
Some people had a bit of a heavy night on the Saturday night.
I mean, that's pretty.
We did not.
That's pretty standard for big GBHL events, to be fair.
Yeah. Like somebody was a little worse for wear.
We do like a good social alongside the events. It's quite nice. So if you're ever thinking about coming to events, you're like, I just want to hang out with people, you can do that. Like there's space in events for that. Want to give a special mention to Chris, who brought along a table full of Shire terrain. What's Chris there?
Yeah. So Christopher Hooper.
Yeah,
Christopher
Cooper. Sorry. Yeah. He brought along a table full of Shire terrain. So he's got a nice big river running through the middle of it. Big bridge over it, roads, buildings, but all the buildings had lights inside of them. And one of them, he had like a little chemical thing that was dropping in, and it was making a chimney smoke and stuff. He had a big party tree with little twinkling lights in it and things. He'd come dressed as a hobbit. He was feeding everyone that he played against.
So one of his things that he does, he's a great guy. If you are lucky enough to play against Chris Cooper at a tournament and he is doing his hobbit attire, he brings second breakfast to give to you whilst you have your game against him, which is a really cool idea. And he actually won a special prize at the event given out by Harry, who it essentially was for people who had brought terrain and brought boards and stuff to support the thing. And his Shire board and then his attire and demeanor for the days won him the award, which was well justified, I believe.
Yeah.
The board was lovely. I played on it against the Balrog, which I don't understand why the Balrog was in the Shire and nobody noticed, but apparently it happened.
Yeah, that's historically accurate.
Yeah. I know they had the Green Dragon in Hobbiton, but apparently they had a black and fire demon there as well. Yeah, it was good fun. Very good event. I would definitely recommend Lord of the Imps if anybody is in Britain and thinking about going to a GBHL event. Lord of the Imps is a great one.
Just on the topic of them, I know we've got a few guys locally who the competitive scene isn't for them in their heads. Like they just want to turn up, play a few games, have some fun. But they say things like the GBHL events are something to stay away from. Don't do that. If you go to these events, there's like a little group of people who are fighting to win the event. And then there's a big group of people down the bottom who just want to have fun. And there's a whole little crew of people who are there. They'll get into it. Like Chris was like dressing up, offering food out to people, having a nice time, like just there for a laugh. Like turn up, have a laugh. I know quite a few people who have played their first ever games at tournaments. And just turned up, played some games, and it's the easiest way to learn because
It
you'll
really
end up
is.
playing against someone decent, and they'll kind of take you through the game almost.
Yeah.
As long as you don't mind and you're not too proud to lose a few games, you will learn an awful lot very quickly, and meet an awful lot of people and have an awful lot of fun. So if you are thinking of going to an event, go to one, try it out, and just see what the vibe is. And you never know, you might go to your first major event and accidentally do really well, Jamie.
Yeah. I might have gone to Into the West earlier this year and come fourth.
It's like I went to my first GBHL event and accidentally won it. But
but I got more league points than you for that.
Yeah. But and I'm still waiting for my trophy actually, Sam. It's like the only event I've ever actually properly won.
Out. I didn't get calling people out straight up.
Didn't get a trophy for it, Sam.
Yeah.
But yeah, should probably wrap things up because we've talked for like an awfully long time.
It turns out I can talk for a while. I'm pretty good at it.
Turns out. There will be more battle reports stuff coming up soon. I just went on holiday. Sorry.
I mean, I'm looking forward to getting onto the channel and doing some battle reports with Tom, and I have a few very nice projects in the works.
I've got so many, as you can see. This is my work in progress shelf.
Mine are very nicely in the cabinet over here.
That's my painting
you can't
shelf.
See.
You don't get to go in there unless you painted.
Ooh, yeah, I have one of those. A little sneak preview for people. I may be working on 9 models.
The Fellowship and how.
That's all I say. That's all. The Fellowship and Hell. I'm so salty about that. No, I'm working on 9 models, and hopefully you will see them all on some YouTube channels coming up.
I've been playing with him.
Oh, Burder.
Yeah. Spoilers.
I mean, my next thing that's going to be on the painting table is these.
Some Knights of Dol Amroth.
So these are some Knights of Dol Amroth, which are for battle companies. Because in our local area, a few of us have started up a battle companies campaign, and I am playing Men of the West.
Nice.
Because it is much better. So I've had 3 games. My battle company rating is 146. So
is that good?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
I played battle companies once and wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
I went as Harrod and just wanted to kill stuff.
Yeah. So my leader is a Knight of Dol Amroth on armored horse with a lance. He has 2 special rules now. He causes terror when he charges, and he also has the Men of the West special rule, which is +1 to his dual roll if there's a friendly Rohan model within 3 inches of him.
Nice.
Which is pretty good.
That's always good.
He also has a lance, so he's +1 to wound. He's mounted, so he's knocking down, double striking, all that goodness.
Yeah.
My sergeant, which is a warrior of Minas Tirith who sports sword and shield, now has heroic march and heroic resolve. And my other sergeant is a Knight of Dol Amroth on foot who now has burly, which I don't really know what I'm going to do with that, but it could be spicy.
A 2-handed weapon from somewhere.
Yeah, it could be spicy, given a Knight of Dol Amroth a 2-handed weapon.
But then if you end up on a lance, on a horse.
Yeah. Then if you get dismounted, you've then still got your 2-handed weapon.
Yeah, true. +1 to wound, whatever you do.
Yeah. I've managed to get another Knight of Dol Amroth from reinforcements, and on the campaign map, I have currently taken Edoras.
Nice.
Which means
so that's 3 horses, right?
No, it's not 3
horses.
Horses. It's they cost you 1 influence point less. So I think we're playing Wednesday for battle companies, and if I win my first game, my sergeant Knight of Dol Amroth will then get an armored horse and a lance.
Spicy.
Yeah, I mean, when you're at 7 models and 2 of them are mounted Knights of Dol Amroth, it's gonna get pretty scary.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do.
It will do it.
All right. Well,
awesome.
We should probably wrap it up. Thanks for sticking with us. You're still here at the end. And like stuff, subscribe to stuff, go to the website if you want. Feel free to
Definitely.
buy some stuff.
What is the website, Tom?
Atomiccards.co.uk.
Is it this one? Is it this nice one that the shirt is promoting?
It might actually be atomiccards.com. I can't remember. It's not my head, which is really bad. It's literally my life. But
awesome.
Yes. One of those. Google it. Find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube, find us on Instagram, find us on everything. We're there.
Do you by any chance sell that Pokemon product which is right behind you?
That one? I do, yeah, but they're mine. You can't have them.
But you do sell that one?
No. Well, we did. They lasted.
I mean, it would have been good product placement if you can buy this.
It lasted all about 6 hours on Friday.
Oh wow!
If you don't know Pokemon, this is very exciting.
I don't really know Pokemon.
It's the 25th anniversary set.
Okay.
So yeah,
I have a shiny gold card, which is Reshiram.
Yes, he's good.
I have that one.
Like him.
And I got it. A friend of mine got it PSA rated for me.
Nice. What'd you get?
It's PSA rated 9.
9. Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
This is it's one of my favorite recent ones because it looks like a ring wraith.
Oh, nice.
He's fun.
I think my Reshiram is just here nicely. This is the point where I like. Oh no, where is it? Wait, there's one. It must be in there. So I have 2 PSA graded cards. One which was given to me as a present. One which is this very shiny Reshiram.
Nice.
And the other one is a card of my favorite Pokemon, and it is a Japanese
Sabrina's Gengar.
Sabrina's Gengar.
Solid card.
I love Gengar. This was actually given to me as a Christmas present from my friend.
Nice.
It's a PSA graded 9 Japanese Gym 2 Sabrina's Gengar.
Yeah.
Which
nice
is very, very nice.
Right. Now we should go.
Now we should go. We've done a bit of Pokemon. We've done
everything. Mate. Should we talk about Magic for a bit?
We've done if we could talk about Magic, I would be very happy because
soon.
That's my jam. That's my jam. I love Magic.
Soon. We'll get you and Daniel playing some Magic. Check on channel.
I mean, my deck is filthy, so I'm not sure if you'd play me.
Okay, my Pokemon deck's filthy. But yeah, cool.
Awesome. Sweet.
All right, we'll see you guys next time, and
see you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.